My cinnamon sugar. What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that you?
Is that... Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the show Replacing the Podcast, where Andrew and I discuss everything from old school fast food restaurants to classic nostalgic movies. The show titled Do You Remember? Alright, so episode 2 of this show, I wanted to cover a topic that I have a lot to say about, at least.
Oh boy.
Well, it's nothing, no, not rants. It's not one of those episodes.
It's always a rant, though, whenever you have a lot to say about it.
Well, but they're all positive things. And that is the mall experience. Now, I grew up in a time where you could still go to the mall, spend a whole day there, and, like, they had a wide variety of unique stores, a full food court, an arcade. Some of them even had the little animal rescue pet house, like the little pet shop. Like,
I don't think it was a rescue. I think it was just a pet shop. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But unfortunately, with Amazon and online shopping and stuff like that, nobody really goes to the mall anymore other than to have that, like, experience. Like, oh, let's take a day trip, let's go to the mall. And because of that, so many stores are leaving, so many food chains are, bailing, and it's kind of sad. But, I just wanted to, reflect in this episode and kind of discuss, like, the rise and fall of it all, and, why we think, like, people are kind of just abandoning it. Because for the fact that, like, yes, shopping has been made so much easier with everything being mobile. It's all on your phone, it's on your laptop, order it, boom, it's there, And I think with everything else except for clothing, it's kind of like no issue. Oh, I got it, oh, it's broken, send it back, get a new one. If it's clothing and, you got to try it on and do all that stuff, that's kind of a hassle. But I feel like there's still so much to enjoy about going to a mall, and for the things that I mentioned, like the pet shop, food court, arcade, record shop, stuff like that, and it's a shame because I feel like, especially with I can't even call one of them a mall anymore, it's just like 2 stores and a restaurant, but with the Hamilton Mall especially, it just kind of feels like it's slowly just falling apart, fading away, nobody really cares, and it's a bummer because I remember how much fun it used to be, So, my experiences aside, I think overall there is reason for it to, make a resurgence, because it's like nostalgia in all ways, shapes, and forms kind of gets into everybody's head, whether it's through movies, clothes, TV, Stranger Things, stuff like that. Like everyone's got Stitch, and Stranger Things is a perfect example. Showing the mall at its heyday, like what it was like. It was glorious. There was a movie theater inside. It was hustle and bustle. Everybody was in there packed. Not just even shopping, just to go there and spend the day hanging out with your friends and stuff like that. And I feel like there's not really a place where you could just do that. Like you have your friends, you could go to a park, or like, okay, let's all meet at freaking a restaurant or whatever. But the mall was like the place where even if you were aimlessly wandering, you could all just meet and hang out.
Well, true, but I will say, and I agree, but there are a lot of entertainment complexes that are kind of opening up, especially in our area now, that offer a variety of activities that you could go and just kind of do a bunch of things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like even many of the casinos are kind of revitalizing themselves by transforming things that used to be casino floors or big event halls into different activities for people to do. So I think like the Showboat still has like the arcade, and now they've I don't know, one of them has like that water park now.
Yeah.
I just gave them a plug, I guess, but
Oceans, I think it's called.
Maybe it was the Ocean Casino, but I think that there are they're trying to recapture some of that magic. There's one that just opened down in like Rio Grande that has like all that stuff going on. You should probably edit that out so that nobody knows where we live. Don't, well, it's fine. Anyway, but I think that like there is a market for activities to be able to be done indoors because people still want to go out and do things, especially now. And I think actually like post pandemic, there's been more interest in that stuff just because everybody was cooped up for so long that we started to realize like, okay, the internet and computers and online works for some things. Like a lot of people enjoyed working from home, but it's also really nice to just go out and like enjoy a meal or go out and go bowling or do golf or go throw an axe or, you know, whatever, watch a movie, like whatever you want to do. And I think one, that's evidenced by how popular the bowling alleys and the movie theaters have been near us recently.
Yeah.
Even like the mini golf courses, like everything has been very, very busy.
Yeah.
And not just like summer busy, like we've been going throughout the year and it's been just as busy, which is great. Like that's something that we didn't see for maybe a decade at least. Like we would go to the movies and it would just be us in the back and we'd have like the whole theater to ourselves sometimes, even for movies that were,
depending on the theater you went to,
but even for movies that were decently popular, I felt like that was something that happened frequently, that it would just be us kind of hanging out, maybe like one or two other couples in the theater. So the fact that all of these entertainment businesses are starting to come back like even stronger than they did before the pandemic, I think is indicating a shift in people's desire to get out there and do things again. And I think people are realizing the same thing about online shopping. They mark up the prices for the sake of convenience. Like you don't have to leave your home, but you can find everything you want, you know? And I think people are starting to realize that one, the quality is not necessarily as good. And two, the prices can be a lot higher than they would be if you just went to the store. And you can't tell what you're getting, really. You know, like when you go to the store and you hold it and you feel it, you can see what you're getting, you know what you're getting, you can decide if you want it or not. And I think it's a totally different experience.
Yeah.
I think people enjoy that, and I think that the fact that even the stores around us have been busier. Now I realize that's not necessarily true of the mall because there's not a whole lot there anymore, but all of the little strip malls are doing very well. There's a lot of traffic in our area considering that, you know, we've had kind of a recession economy going on for a little bit now.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe considering the area as well for the mall. It's not like...
Well, that's what I mean, we've been having issues in our area for a long time. All the casino shuttering and all of that really made things tough.
True. Yeah, I mean, and that's right. I mean, we just went to the Gloucester, the outlets, right? And that, and I said that a few times, like that was an outdoor mall experience, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
And that was quite busy.
Outlets tend to do pretty well too.
Yeah. Do you think something like that is like the next iteration of the mall? Like an outdoor experience, you have all your stores lined up, you have maybe a few restaurants, outdoor eateries, they're playing music through the speakers, you know, it's all outside, you're getting fresh air, there's benches and stuff, you know, instead of it all being enclosed. Is that, I don't know, because maybe. I feel like you make a good point, because we've been to a few areas where they had something like that, and it's always kind of busy, you know, even though the stores are inside, it's still everyone's actively, you know, walking back and forth, they're sitting outside eating food or listening to music and stuff, like,
yeah, outlets have been a thing for a long time though, like many decades now, so that's not anything new. I think that maybe they're trying to add some things to make it more exciting for people. I mean, they're calling them premium outlets, which implies two things. One, that you're going to have high-end stores there, and two, that you're going to get some sort of experience you wouldn't get anywhere else.
And it is a nice experience. Yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it because I just like the presentation of it all. I mean, the buildings are all very nice with the cobblestone walkways, and then having the music play and like the turf lawns and stuff like that, and all the benches and the little like kiosks and outdoor stands, people selling food and, you know, all the vendors and stuff. I mean, it is a premium experience, and it's funny too because like like that inside of the mall. Like I feel like I tend to avoid like the little kiosks and like the people, the stands in the middle of the mall that are selling like cell phone cases and stuff like that. Um, but in a different setting, it's like, oh, what are they doing? Oh, that's nice. Let me go check that out. And I wonder what
If
the
you feel
difference
like it's
is.
not forced on you, you're more likely to see what it is. I
True.
think the hard sell gets some people because of the pressure, like
Yeah.
that you feel like you have to. But if you don't feel like you have to, like you're good at like keeping your eyes down and like I don't really care, then you can just kind of walk by. But if somebody's selling something and not pushing it on you, and you're the type of person who prefers to kind of like ease into it, that's more appealing. You want to go see what they have because they're not trying to force you to get it. Like you in particular, you really enjoy having control over your shopping experience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think like somebody who needs like more control in those situations would prefer to have like a low pressure type of shopping experience where you go to them instead of them going to you.
Yeah. Well, also, yeah, because I just don't like the idea of being interrupted as well as like walking through like with a plan. Like, all right, I'm gonna go to Auntie Anne's, and I'm on the way to Auntie Anne's, and someone's just like,
We gotta go to Annie's.
we absolutely have to go to Auntie Anne's.
Been
We'll
there
go
so
soon.
long. I want a pretzel.
Let's do it. Um, but somebody stops you on your way from getting that deliciousness, and they're just like, oh, do you want to try this? Do you want to see this? Here, I got a video. And believe me, I get it. I used to I used to work in sales. I get the hard sell. You got to try to pull everyone you can. But that's why me personally, like, I'm just not a fan of that because I'm like, oh, and I got to lie to this person or I have to be rude. And I don't like to be rude. I don't like to just be like, oh, no, sorry, I can't, and walk away.
You can just walk away. Just ignore them.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You don't have to engage in any conversation you don't want to. If you haven't learned anything else from me, you should learn that.
That's
you
one
always
skill.
Have the power to walk away.
That's one skill that you've tried to teach me that I have not mastered yet. But that's where I am still the Padawan learner. But hopefully, I can improve on that because it drives me nuts.
I don't want to talk to you. Bye. It's easy.
But so you mentioned how bad you want to go back to Auntie Anne's. All right, so
yes, let's go.
Let's talk about.
Let's go now.
And let's go right now. All right, episode over. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna go to Auntie Anne's. So okay, let's start with food in the mall.
Okay.
Now that's me. I love mall food. I love it so much.
I know you do.
I mean, it was the best when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because you get it's like get your little tray and you just get to go to all these different places. I used to go to Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell, and then I'd get a giant egg roll and some fried rice from the Chinese place and sit down. I got a 12-pack of fries. I got 3 tacos and like a Baja Blast and then my Chinese food. And man, it was just so good. It was awesome. The best experience. And then I'd go there with Mom, and I'd be like so antsy with like my Chick-fil-A nuggets, and she's like picking out her salad and stuff at like the Greek place, and I'm like, come on, hurry up, I just want to go and sit and eat my food. But oh man, it was so good. And nowadays it's a bummer because like even when a cool place comes, it doesn't stay long.
Yeah, true.
And now like the food court, like half of those places are empty. They're all like those stupid Instagram walls, which drives me up a wall. Speaking of which, I hate it. But then the ones that are open, like they still have the Japanese place, still have the Chinese place, the burger joint, and then like the pizza. And they're like the only ones that are like.
The pizza's still there now.
No, it's there.
It is?
Yeah, I was just there.
I thought I heard something about it. Well, I will say the sushi place has been there since I was small. Like, since I was little.
No, I know, yeah. They have remained there.
They have really good sushi.
They have great food, and the taco place is awesome too. Their food is pretty banging.
Yeah,
I really like the tacos.
They're not bad.
But recently, and like not too recently, but some time ago, within this year, the Greek place closed. And I was like, oh no, that was like one of the last ones from my childhood. It's gone.
I wasn't allowed to go everywhere at one time, but I wasn't hungry for all of the food. I wasn't a big eater like you were at the time. So as a kid, I would have like a little kid's meal from somewhere, but I wasn't allowed to do Taco Bell, so I don't know what that was like. But I would get Chick-fil-A. Unfortunately, sorry.
So good.
I definitely had some of the white broccoli pizza from the pizza place.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You and I shared that.
Yep.
We didn't even know. And
So good.
I don't know if you remember, but Mrs. Fields used to be there.
I was gonna mention Mrs.
And I
Fields.
loved Mrs. Fields. That
Mrs.
between
Fields.
that and the cinnamon sugar Auntie Anne's, like those were my little treats. And then when the smoothie place opened up, like forget about it.
Yep.
I would get one of those little berry smoothies and an Auntie Anne cinnamon sugar pretzel, and that would be my mom's way of like entertaining me while she'd walk around and shop with me.
Yeah.
You just sit there like, okay,
I
I'm
know,
good.
yeah. Oh my
It's enough for
god.
me.
And when you were a kid, I mean, those Auntie Anne pretzels were huge.
Yes.
They felt like the size of your
Yes,
face.
that was more than enough.
They discontinued it. I don't know why, but when I was a kid, my favorite Auntie Anne's pretzel was the sesame seed twist. It was so good. It had this like perfect like sweet and savory glaze with the sesame seeds on it. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it was incredible. Now I mean the classic. I love the classic pretzel, and the cinnamon sugar twist is really good too. But I like that in nuggets,
Yeah,
so I can dip them.
yeah.
But oh my god,
Sweet
Mrs.
glaze.
Fields, you just sent me back in
Right?
time with that, with
They
the little
warm it up for
cookies.
you.
Yes.
Oh no, I got the big ones.
No, I
got
get the sample
big
bag. I'd get the little
boys.
bag and all the different flavors.
No, I just wanted the. I just
So
still
good.
remember the little crinkle wrapper that they put it in.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
take a little bite. It's still warm. And the chocolate melts, and they use chunks. Like they didn't use the
Yes.
little chips, the chunks in there. And they always did those like fundraising things at the school where they would sell it like frozen. And I swear to you, it never tasted the same. I know it's probably the same, but
The cookie dough?
yes, but it never tasted the same from the oven as it did from the mall. Like there's something about those mall cookies that were magic.
I'll tell you, we used to do that fundraiser through my school, and Grandma would get like 3 big plastic containers, and I would just sneak like spoonfuls of
I
it.
believe it.
I mean, and then they'd be like, and I wasn't even sneaky.
I
Like, I
know.
wasn't even sly,
I
because
know
it's
you're
like,
not.
obviously I'm
They
leaving
knew.
big spoon craters missing from the cookie dough, and they're like, why is it missing?
I still eat
Why?
them. Every time I make chocolate chip cookies, they see you. You're like, you can leave that half in the bowl, and that'll just be for me.
Uh-huh.
See you at midnight just eating it out of the bowl.
Is my weakness. But all that to say that even frozen, I still was like, Mrs. Fields is top dollar. She was incredible on her baked goods.
Mhm.
Holy moly.
Right?
And that was the only spot in the mall that you could get Slurpees too. Like the ices with the polar bear on it. Do you remember the Slurpee machine?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever got them there though, because I enjoyed the smoothies,
Oh, me too.
but I don't know.
Love
if
the
I ever got an
smoothies.
icy.
And then the slushies from Auntie Anne's were good too. Did you ever like the strawberry lemonade slushie?
I don't think I would have been allowed to drink. I wasn't allowed to drink like juice and stuff like that as a kid, so I don't think I would have been allowed to have an icy.
I understand.
Smoothies were okay because there's like fruit in it. But
That was incredible. All right, so then let me hit you with this.
Okay.
Top 3. I'll give you 3.
Okay.
Food stops, and they can include drinks if you want, or we can do that separately. But you get 3 top slots.
Like from back when I was a kid, or like now, because they're very different. I don't eat all the same things.
Let's
that I
say
did
back from when you were a kid.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, the things I just named.
In what order?
Like I really love the Chick-fil-A kids meals. Even though the toys
You
are
just need
so
to speak
stinky.
up.
I'm sorry. You know I like the Chick-fil-A kids meals.
Okay,
Even though the toys were super lame.
Yeah.
We still have some of them and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
If they were just Christian propaganda, just
Wait,
like
you
popped in there.
Do you remember the one time it was all gardening tools? That was great.
Was it?
Yeah, when I was a kid,
I don't think I ever got that one.
I got
always
like a
the
little
real crummy
shovel
ones.
and bucket. I got a little watering. What are they called? Watering can. And they had a little handheld rake and a hoe. It was awesome.
Oh, that would have been
It
nice.
was like a collect 6 things.
They must have seen me coming and been like, let's drop that one in instead.
Anyway.
We'll try our best on this one. And I loved the broccoli pizza.
Okay.
But is it, no, I don't know. Like 3 is tough. And I love Mrs. Fields, but I love Auntie Anne's. You know, Auntie Anne's would definitely be top 3 now.
Okay. Okay, well then
I don't
we'll
know.
do
It's so tough.
back in time and then present day.
Okay, well
that
then
fair?
present day would be Auntie Anne's, my smoothies, because there's something about them that's just so good there.
Yeah.
And probably the sushi that we've gotten from the Japanese place, because
Yes.
that's like surprisingly good for being as small as it is, being in the middle of a mall that's like empty. Like their food has no reason to be as good as it is. It
Well,
almost makes me upset how good it is.
they're
because
putting a lot of effort in over there. They got to stay open.
They're doing great.
That's
So
crazy that they've been there for so long. They've seen the
Right?
mall change.
I know.
All right. From my past, top 3 would be Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, Mrs. Fields, and then present day it would be Auntie Anne's, the Chinese restaurant
Okay.
where I get my bourbon
Yeah.
chicken. Gotta have my bourbon chicken. And then probably this movie place.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Did-
Are you counting Auntie Anne? Sorry, are you counting Auntie Anne's and Cinnabon together since they're paired now? Or are you counting them as different things? Because now they're like
Was Cinnabon ever
partners.
in the mall on its own?
No.
Well, then
Not in
Auntie
that
Anne's as it is.
Okay.
'Cause Cinnabon, I mean, I like Cinnabon, but like it doesn't blow me away.
Hmm.
But Auntie Anne's, like, I'll wait in line for
Sticky
some
buns are
Auntie
probably
Anne's.
better.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Are you kidding me? Okay, so
Good boy.
it's so that was the first thing I wanted to talk about was food, obviously, because I just wanted to stroll down memory lane.
I could talk
with all
about
the
snacks
food.
all day as long as you feed me some eventually.
Yes. Now in terms of shopping,
Okay.
there was a pretty wide variety when we were kids
True.
in terms of shopping. Now I don't remember the store's name, but with the Hamilton Mall, you're walking in, and if you look to your left, there was a store that always had like pop culture.
Suncoast.
Suncoast, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Great store.
Mhm.
I love that one so much.
They had some interesting things in that store.
They did in the back.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. But they always had all the TVs. They were playing all the different
Yes.
movies and
Yes.
stuff and everything. And they had that was where I first discovered South Park. It's where first time I saw anything from South Park. And yeah, we'd get like box sets, DVD box sets and stuff like that from there. I think we got a few seasons of The Office from there. But then FYE was in there too. Do you remember that?
Yep.
That's where that stupid dress store is now.
I love how you ask if I remember it as if we weren't both small at the same time.
No, I know, but do you remember? That's the name of the show.
You were just a baby. Do you remember this?
He's just a baby.
I remember all of those things.
I loved FYE so much.
I went to Suncoast one time with like I don't know why I did this, with a bunch of friends from high school. We were just kind of hanging out near there, but they had like an anime meetup at some point. My friends were all into it, and I was definitely not. That was never my thing. Still remains true. But because they were like, oh, let's go, and everybody was like dressed up as different things. I knew nothing that was going on, so it wasn't for me, obviously, but I was there.
That absolutely would have been my thing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't know that. But
I
guess-
mean, I wouldn't have known either if I
Yeah.
wasn't dragged there. But they did have that. They had a lot of cool things at the mall.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, those two stores were great for all of your entertainment purposes. Everything from CDs to DVDs to even video games. They had some pretty cool old school
Yeah.
video games in those stores, and that was before Level Up was in there.
Definitely, yeah.
But GameStop I think was in there for a while.
I think so.
But it's a shame because like GameStop changed drastically up until it left the mall.
Yeah.
Because it used to have all those stands in the store where you could sample the games and play them and everything.
It's
Loved
really
it.
more like pop culture, like memorabilia now.
Yeah.
Than GameStop.
Yeah, it
They
is.
do a lot of online business for like gaming and stuff.
A lot of toys, T-shirts, pop
Well,
vinyls.
because you know what the truth is, you can demo a lot of games now just through your system, or like watch like playthroughs online. So I think less people are excited about like playing it in a store versus like doing that online, and they must have realized like it's not as profitable. Like people aren't going there playing the game and then buying it.
Mm-hmm.
People are going there and maybe playing it and then going home and buying it on their system. So like it's not producing the same output that they would want. So they're like, oh well, pop vinyls sell, backpacks sell, shirts sell, action figures, like all the stuff that goes with the things that we sell.
Yeah.
So let's just focus our attention on that, and then on our website we'll sell the rest of the things.
That's a great point. Because even if you were going into the store and you're like, oh my god, I didn't know this game was out. you would just be like, okay, well, I guess I'll go home after I'm done with the mall and buy it right
Right,
away.
because that's
You
how
know?
everyone does it now for the most part.
Yeah. I guess to me it was just the idea of like, oh, I could play this for a little bit while I'm in here. This
I
is
know,
fun.
but then you're taking up space that somebody could be using shopping.
That's
you know?
true. I mean, GameStop saved me a lot when I was a kid because while mom was walking around in all her stores, I'd just be like, all right, I'm gonna go to GameStop and play Feeding Frenzy for half
just
an
found
hour.
me. We could have hung out.
We're never in there when I was in there.
Well, who knows?
We could have though. So GameStop takes us to the second floor.
Mhm.
So also up there.
Those are all my favorite stores up there.
Yeah. Well, again, you fire some off. What do you remember?
Well, my two absolute favorites of all time, limited to Disney.
Freaking yes. That was gonna be one of mine that I mentioned.
I cry sometimes thinking about how limited 2 was gone, and you don't know the disappointment I had when the Disney store went out of business.
I was so annoyed.
Both of those just like destroyed me.
Yeah.
More than they probably should have. But like I just had such vivid memories of my childhood and early adolescence, like going in there and seeing all the cool things that they had. Those were like the places to be, like especially the limited 2. I don't know how that went out of business and I'm still angry about it. Like it wasn't just clothes, it was like everything that was hot like for that age group, like for like tweens, was in that store. And like they did like collaborations with like young celebrities and stuff, so you could get like stuff you couldn't find anywhere else in that store. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. And I was gutted when it left. And then it was kind of like catty corner to the Disney store, so those were like my big faves.
Okay,
that
I can
were
kind of
just
picture
like,
it then in relation to the Disney store.
it was limited to, and then Wet Seal went in next to it eventually.
Okay, then I definitely know where limited
Which
2
I
was
eventually
because.
graduated to, and the limited 2 closed.
Uh-huh.
And then I was hanging out in the Wet Seal getting my clothes. Wet Seal and Charlotte Rose.
A lot of my friends liked Wet Seal.
You went to Wet Seal with your friends?
No,
Oh.
I was in the Disney store. I was like, you guys have fun in there. I'll be over here looking at Buzz Lightyear toys.
Hey, one of my very good friends from 8th grade, we went into Wet Seal to pick out matching outfits for the lip sync dance that we did together.
Oh my god.
We got like the same like skinny jeans in bright colors and like the same tops, and she had us like do our hair and makeup exactly the same. Like it was hilarious.
That's
but
awesome.
we tried on a million outfits. I feel so bad for my mom because she sat there with us the whole time just watching these two 13-year-old girls try on a million clothes. Like, that one looks good. I'm like, okay. Just trying to like speed us up probably.
You can get all of them, please. Anything for us to leave the
out of
store.
here.
My butt's asleep.
I loved them. I mean, like those, but like that Wet Seal was like an experience for me. That was a good place to get clothes. Like PacSun was like a good place to get clothes.
And PacSun's good.
Hollister was a good place to get clothes. Expensive clothes. It was very loud. It was very disorienting in that
Hollister
store.
was a great place to suffocate over the smells.
But it was like where everybody went to get clothes at a certain point. You know, when I was in high school, that was like the place. So
Yeah.
like you had to go if you wanted to like dress like you were cool. You know, everybody did. Hot Topic was not the experience that it is today.
Can I just say real quick that
Yeah.
I loved Hot Topic when they were like Hot Topic of the olden days, but I also love the way it is now.
I was
Like-
gonna say the way that it is now is kind of more your taste.
Well, I used to go in there a lot. It was actually one of the stores that we would go into for
When
fun.
it still looked like a dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Aunt Sarah and I, we loved looking at all like the band T-shirts and
Mhm.
stuff like that. You know, we'd always look for like brand new
So
or
I got those to mine.
the Clash or
Not for
whatever.
brand new, definitely not.
And they had, they had all the like the wristbands and
Mhm,
all the like the pop punk whatever stuff that you'd wear. But yeah, I mean they still had some cool things. Like that front counter.
Mhm.
They have all like the little like gachapon items and like the little shrunken toys and like little packages and like weird candies and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, they still have all that now, except now it's all very much like anime and like.
It's very pop culture now. Like,
yeah. But it kind of lives up to its name more. Don't you
that's
think?
true. Well, it was like sort of,
It
because
features
if you
the
think
hot topics of the day.
it features more popular things.
Yeah.
I think it started out more as like a counterculture thing, where it was like a hot topic because it was controversial, versus like a hot topic or something that's like really popular today. I think it's morphed a lot. Does I remember going in there for the clothes that you couldn't buy anywhere else because they were like scary, you know,
Yeah.
like the big pants and the chains and all that stuff. Like, I definitely wore some of that stuff too. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely did wear some of that stuff too. I went through many phases in terms of my clothing, but you know, like that felt so different walking in. Like that was not like, let me wander through and see what little gadgets they have. Like when I was in high school, it was like, you're going in there? Like there were people who wouldn't want to go in there with me.
You might knock them out.
Because they were really scared.
Somebody go in there with her.
So.
That's how I feel in Spencer's.
Oh God, I can't go into I feel very uncomfortable in Spencer's. Maybe it's just like my own, like, background that makes me feel uncomfortable walking in there, but everything just feels like I feel like I shouldn't be in here.
Spencer's always made me uncomfortable, but like then there was that point when I was a kid where it was almost like I can't even look at the store. Like we would walk past it and like my head would be turned away from it. Like you can't look in, don't look in there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just all like.
It's funny that some of that stuff's even in that store. It's a public place. It's a mall. I mean, it's a little shocking. So I know I keep saying this. And I'm like, do you remember? I don't know if you knew. Of course you do. But there was a bookstore on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the bookstore?
Where was it?
Oh man, I don't remember. I know it was up there. I know there used to be a bookstore and a GNC. Do you remember the GNC?
I do.
Vitamin shop?
I do.
They used to have these crazy, awesome massage chairs in the store. And I can remember it like so vividly, like the lighting in the store, the hardwood floors, the rows and rows of pills and vitamins and protein this and protein shake that. But then there was like a raised platform in the back.
Yeah.
Where I think the cash register was. And
Okay.
in the corner there, that was where the chairs were.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go in there with Mom and she would do her shopping and I would just bam, right to the massage chairs.
Okay.
And I would just chill for about like 15 minutes. And it was awesome. It was so great. And nobody was ever like, get out. Because that's what they were just there for.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there were massage chairs like all along the mall too.
Well, they have them in front of Victoria's Secret for all the husbands that don't want to go into the store with their wives.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Because you know
you
what?
don't like going in.
I don't know, man. I would keep my head down and walk past that store. And anytime I ever had to go in there, I felt that was like how you felt with Spencer's. I just felt like I shouldn't be here.
Well, you were probably not going. I mean, not going in with your wife is a different experience than going with family.
Yeah, no, but just in general, like even going with you, I'm still like I feel like I'm getting looks. I feel like everybody here thinks I'm like a perv, but which I'm not. I'm just like I'd rather go into Bed Bath & Beyond or Bath & Body Works across the way. Which has been there for a while, Bath & Body Works.
Bath & Body Works, yeah.
I love Bath & Body Works.
Same.
That's always a fun one to go into during the holidays.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just love like the massive crowds and all the discounts and everything.
I can't stand the mall during the holidays. But you know what? That gives me the same feeling as walking into Spencer's, as like walking into these stores and seeing them. I'm sorry if I'm offending people. Seeing them like all like decorated with like Christmas trees everywhere and like hearing Christmas music in literally every single store over and over and over again. Like gives me the same, like no, just like gives me like the icky feeling of like I shouldn't be here.
Because you don't celebrate.
I know, but it just makes me feel like this is not for me.
Well,
you know what I mean? I just,
well, sure, yeah, of course, it's not for you.
And then I like physically recoil because I'm like, should I not be here?
I've been in those stores with you when that's happened. I don't see you ever physically recoiling. You're always just like, you grip my hand tighter.
I'm like, get me out of here. No,
boy.
Sorry, that was an aside.
But I
can't
will
stand
say,
so you're on your own with that one.
But something I do love about the holidays at the mall is all the pop-up stores that everyone's like, all right, throw it up. Like it's like the one where it's like cheap gifts and stuff like that. And then the one where it's like the toy shop that just opens for like a brief amount of time.
Yeah.
And then the one that's like the giant like maze of calendars and books right in front of JCPenney where that used to be.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. You always get things there.
I always find something good there.
We stop there and then we clean house at the Bath & Body Works because they have those like buy 3 get 3 sales.
Dude, I love the Bath and Body Works
We
discounts.
get like 30 things.
Yeah,
We're
it's
just, like,
awesome.
buying for everyone.
So awesome.
And they're good. It's good stuff.
It is always good
Everyone
stuff.
likes it. You know, there's something for everyone there.
There is something for everyone, and they're
Can't beat it.
expanding their inventory. There's always like new kinds of products,
I
not
know.
just new products. You know,
Yes.
it's not like, oh, it's a new scent. It's like, oh, it's a candle warmer now. And I'm like, I didn't know they were
Mhm.
doing these.
Mhm.
Like, they got snow globes in here. It's
Yeah,
like,
laundry detergent.
really?
They're doing laundry detergent
That's
now.
fascinating. I like that.
We love them. Not a sponsor, but they could be if you're listening.
I would love that. I would shill out for Bath and Body Works. You kidding me?
We already do, like every month.
Um,
We're their most loyal customers. They can't get rid of us.
I went way off topic
Yeah.
because I had something that I was gonna say, but I totally forgot. But I will go on to a new thing, and I'll say this. Aside from all the stores and the shopping, the mall had the added experiences as well. So you have like the play area for kids. Then you have stores like the pet shop, where in the back there's almost a full aquarium, like of all the different little fish and stuff
Can I
like
stop
that.
talking about the pet shop, because for me it just gives me a sinking feeling.
I know.
I just don't like seeing animals in cages and cases like that. Like it,
I understand,
I
but
don't like it.
they were always doing like adoption days and
I know,
stuff
but I
like
just
that,
don't-
and I
I
really
can't.
loved going and playing with the little puppies. And they always had like the big like little like park fence that you could get inside and sit with them and pet them and stuff. It was very nice, but I enjoyed it. They also had. Do you remember the circus? I'm sorry, I keep asking you. Do you remember? But the circus store with all like the magic tricks and like it's like Fred and George's shop from Harry Potter, like
Sounds familiar.
filled with like the joke
Yeah, maybe.
gifts and
Yeah.
like all the different like the circus store that they have on the boardwalk.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Maybe.
But it was a whole store, and they had the display, and they had all like the little like gadgets and gizmos and stuff all on the window, like flipping over each other and like making noise and everything. That's where you could get like the little static ball that you touch and makes your hair stand up, and they had all the no.
Oh, maybe not. I don't
Oh
know.
man, I
It
love that
definitely
store.
wasn't something I was going to the mall for.
That
in
was
any case.
one that was like hidden. It was like kind of tucked away.
Mm.
And like if you knew about it, then you were in for a treat. It was a great store. And then they also had the arcade on the second floor. You remember the arcade on the second floor? It was kind of near Macy's, kind of around where like Level Up is today.
Level Up is not near Macy's. Level Up's on the other side of the mall near Sears.
That's what I mean, Sears. I got my department stores confused.
No, then I don't remember that.
Okay, well, it was another one where it was kind of like this way. Like you were walking down the path of all the shops, and then you had to turn left and go into the arcade.
I remember when FYE was on that side. I don't remember there being
FYE
an
was
arcade there.
downstairs.
It was downstairs?
Mhm.
I remember being upstairs.
It was downstairs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
I
I don't know. It's been so long. Like
I remember all of this so vividly.
I don't know.
I remember KB
I
Toys.
definitely remember that one.
I miss KB Toys with a passion.
I know, we go toy shopping all the time for
We do.
ourselves.
Yeah, and it would be really easy if KB was around still. But they're not, of course.
How rude of them.
How
to
rude
do
of them
this to
indeed.
us.
To go bankrupt.
Get
But-
antsy.
What?
Get antsy.
Yeah. Well,
Gotta move.
that's a good sign. So, and I honestly think this episode was like the perfect like encapsulation of what this show is. Basically, just me asking you,
Do you remember
over and over
me
again,
answering?
and us just walking down memory lane. Because the show isn't supposed to be very deep, you know, or introspective. It's just kind of for fun, and the idea that we can sit here and, you know, reclaim some of these memories is just nice, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't know, maybe, you know, you who are watching, you feel the same way. You wish malls would return to the days of glory where they had all these unique stores and there was a new experience every time you went. You could spend a whole day there, but you know, nowadays it doesn't really seem like that unless you go to certain ones like the Mall of America or
American Dream Mall.
American Dream Mall. You know, like they have
Pretty cool.
some pretty cool things. They have water parks and 3-story candy stores and, you know, crazy things like that. You can go snowboarding inside. Like, yeah, that's pretty neat, you know?
Toys
So,
R Us.
at a Toys R Us, if you're lucky. What's his name? The giraffe.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's making his rounds, guys. He's coming back.
Third person you've told about this.
Yes. Well, the word needs to be spread. Okay. Jeffrey needs
Sure.
to be everywhere again. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm gonna end the episode with a little fun fact.
Okay.
Okay. So, did you know that the first mall in the U.S. was built in 1956 in Edina, Minnesota? Okay. So
Makes
it was the Southdale Center Mall, and it's the oldest climate-controlled, fully enclosed mall in the U.S.
I did not know that.
Which that wording to me is funny because they said it's the oldest climate-controlled, fully enclosed. You know, so to bring it full circle
So
back
strip
to
malls.
the outlet malls and stuff like that, you know, the strip malls, like that's what it started as.
Sure.
And like I feel like that's what it's becoming again.
Maybe.
You know.
Maybe.
So it really makes you think.
It does.
Well, I hope it makes you think about liking, commenting, and subscribing, and follow us on Instagram where we post whatever we feel like posting. But comment and tell us what you want.
like posting.
Whatever I feel like posting. Comment and let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes. If there are topics that you'd like us to discuss on this show, shout it out, and we'll definitely do it.
Shout it out.
Because I have a lot to say about most things, so I'm sure I'll have a lot to say about whatever it is you want to submit to us. But this has been a lot of fun. Go to a mall, have fun, go to a store, reminisce, and until next time, it's been nerdy.